In this video, we're going to take a look at the different ways to classify a system of equations. So this would be essentially to be able to give it a label of what type of system a problem is. We have three different classifications: independent, dependent, and then inconsistent. An independent system is one that has a unique solution. This is going to be where we intersect our two lines and we get an XY ordered pair. In a dependent, this is where we have infinitely many solutions. I end up graphing the same line two times. They touch in so many different places, it depends on which point I pick on those lines as to which solution would work. But any solution that I pick on that line would indeed work. For inconsistent, there's no solution. We have parallel lines. It's possible for me to identify which type of system it is without graphing. Let's take a look at this first example. I want to be able to compare what the graphs would look like, but without actually graphing them. The most ideal form for this is the slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b. My first equation in this example is not in that form, so I'm going to solve for y. I'm now going to compare these two equations. I have y equals negative x plus 5, and then I have y equals x plus 3. My slopes of negative 1 and 1 are different. If I have different slopes, that means that they cannot be dependent and they cannot be inconsistent, so it must be independent. So my key here for independent in looking at it is if I see different slopes. Different slopes, when solved for slope-intercept form, will indicate that it's going to be an independent system, which tells me I'll have one solution. But take a look at my next example here. Again, I'm going to solve that first one for slope-intercept form. You should be able to do that on your own without seeing all the steps, so go ahead and do so. And in this particular case, I end up with the same equation when written in slope-intercept form two times. That means that I would graph the exact same line twice, which means that they have to be dependent. So for dependent, I'm going to have same slopes and same y-intercepts. So I'm going to write the exact same equations. And again, that's after we solve for y. Inconsistent then, if I solve this first one for y, this time I see my slopes are the same, but my y-intercepts are different. Same slopes but different y-intercepts mean that they will start at different places, but they'll have the same rate of change. That will always give me parallel lines. So inconsistent equations, or an inconsistent system, is going to be identified without graphing by solving for y and finding out that I have the same slopes. So same slopes, but I'm going to have different y-intercepts. In summary, I'm just classifying. I'm just trying to find ways in which I can label or identify different systems. An independent system is one that intersects. Those equations would have different slopes. Dependent systems are going to have the same exact slope and y-intercept when I solve for y. They're going to have the same equations. And inconsistent systems are going to be systems that create parallel lines, and I can identify that by equations that have the same slope but start at different points, different y-intercepts. You'll need to know this vocabulary for your test and quiz.